standpoint, this got to be one of the things I done seen in my entire life. It don't make no sense. See, the problem Nike is this. Nike, you, other endorsement companies, other coaches, other GMs, you guys don't dictate to us who the face of the league is. The consumer does that. The viewer does that. That's who does that. And the viewers and the consumers are telling you that Caitlin Clark is the face of this league. What you guys want to do is steady trying to force Agent Wilson on it.
Now, you would think with this being such a big game for Caitlin, her returning to her alumni in Iowa and her hitting that massive logo 3, the logo 3 during the game, that some of her sponsors would want to show her support on social media, do any sort of marketing to uplift her and uplift their brand. And one who did do that was Gatorade. They tweeted a photo of her and they said, "Real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark." Now, one of her lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was
Get your popcorn ready, because this drama is hotter than playoff overtime, and Caitlin Clark is prepared to go full quartered press, making her move to exit the swoosh. The stakes are high, and the game is about to get even more intense. Caitlin Clark may decide to throw her Nike deal in the trash, because Nike's eye is wandering toward A.A. Wilson because she isn't present for the brand's basketball love triangle.
Caitlin Clark's Nike deal might be the worst endorsement deal in the history of professional sports. You guys remember this billboard that was put up in Iowa? Well, that's one of the last times that Nike has done anything for Caitlin Clark. They promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season.
Kind of curious about is why is Nike so subdued on posting anything or promoting much around like these big moments around Caitlin Clark? Because like that logo bomb, that 36-footer, like that is not something that most men can do in the NBA on a consistent basis. She just decided, hey, I'm just gonna go take this shot on a whim, and she made it. And Nike
signed Caitlin Clark, but let's face it, they've been treating her like an afterthought ever since. It's as like the sportswear behemoth did a double take when they saw the biggest WNBA player in their store and said, do we really need to market her now? Nike officially added Caitlin to their roster, but other than the odd, poorly timed social media posts, they don't seem to be really invested in her career. Despite a multi-million-dollar deal, Caitlin has gotten little more than silence. It's obvious that they see her as a star, but aren't quite ready to fully support her.
And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this? Yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a huge day for Caitlin. She's returning to her alum. Who knows when she will play there again? And she hit a 36-foot three-pointer from her logo, the record-breaking logo where she beat the NCAA scoring record. Nike seems to be continuing to fumble the bag when it comes to Caitlin. She still doesn't have a signature shoe. The merch is very limited that they put out for Caitlin Clark, and a lot of fans are
while Caitlin Clark is out there dominating the court and accumulating a ton of views, making WNBA games relevant again and probably greatly increasing the league's brand value, Nike is remaining silent and acting as though they are unaware of her influence. They could capitalize on her rising fame by branding her everywhere, releasing limited edition sneakers, and genuinely elevating women's sports in the process. But instead, they are ignoring her as though she should be kept hidden in the Nike vault behind exclusive Jordans and buried beneath a mountain of we'll get to it later marketing plans. It's a squandered chance to use her celebrity to promote the sport.
Right. It's so bad I've seen Nike shareholders come out and say they were livid because they understand there's a massive opportunity with this WNBA basketball player that actually is bringing people in that are basketball fans in general, and they're bringing in the casual fan, which has never happened. By the way, you don't believe me? Look at the WNBA ratings for these other games so far. All right, Caitlin Clark is the one singular asset that's moving the needle.
Nike treats Caitlin Clark like that distant cousin you invite to Thanksgiving just to avoid family drama. Even though we know she's important, it's as if they see her potential but are too busy with other priorities to really invest in her rising star. We know that Nike has its favorite stars like LeBron, Kobe, and the iconic Just Do It ambassadors who have already secured their legacies.
Nike is tripping. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The way they disrespect Caitlin Clark is a humble person, bro. She's very likable and she's very humble. When I was Caitlin Clark, I would call my agent, and I would have them get in touch with some lawyers, and I will be trying to get out of that Nike deal as fast as I can, because they've been disrespectful. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Nike
and supporters are enraged. The brand's decision to sideline Caitlin Clark and only give her sporadic glimpses, a quick photo here or a fleeting appearance, instead of fully investing in her rising star, seems perplexing and short-sighted. Her devoted fans are loudly and rightfully incensed that Nike has effectively boxed her in, acting as though she is not the future of women's sports. It feels like they are holding her back, missing a significant opportunity to capitalize on her, influence, and inspire a new generation of athletes and fans.
Why? People want to buy Caitlin Clark things, and they especially want to buy Caitlin Clark Nike things. Why is Nike continuing to wait so long into her WNBA career when you could have put something out last year and it would have sold out? It doesn't make much sense. And also the deal that Nike put on the table for Caitlin Clark, it seems like she is severely underpaid in this deal for the type of motion that she is bringing to the WNBA, the type of fan bases that she has, continually selling out arenas and just being the generational superstar that she is. I don't know what's going on with Nike. I hope they get on board quickly, because we are all waiting for it and we are all wondering, is it so hard to just put out a social media post promoting your star player? Globally, one of the faces of not only women's basketball, but of basketball as a whole.
Given that Caitlin Clark is one of the most exciting players in women's basketball, Nike's approach to her has been surprisingly lackluster. Instead of taking advantage of the opportunity to create a signature shoe for her, the company has settled for uninspired sponsorships that act as though they're doing her a favor by letting her wear their gear. When was the last time you saw Nike really promote Clark as their flagship athlete? It seems more like they signed her as a token gesture than a serious marketing move, almost like they're saying, look, we've got Caitlin Clark. Fans are unhappy because she hasn't received any genuine support or attempt to raise her profile, and they question why Nike isn't funding additional initiatives, increasing her visibility, or providing more assistance. Despite being the WNBA's most captivating star, a marketing powerhouse, and a generational talent, Clark receives very little publicity and fails to use her influence to forge a solid alliance. Like signing the hottest band and only having them play in the background while promoting some random influencer in the front row, Nike appears fine with a few drab postings and token appearances. Nike lost a great chance to boost her brand, and there.
Now, in case you're wondering, look at this is Gatorade. They put this out last week for that game. Caitlin Clark, home sweet home. And as you guys have seen on TV and during these games, I mean, you see Gatorade commercials with Caitlin Clark in it. There's a Nike comment right there. There's at Nike basketball, at Nike. This was back on the 4th, at Nike. Absolutely getting destroyed at Nike. I mean, we could keep going.
However, this is the actual issue. Not only is Caitlin Clark receiving the short end of the stick, but Nike's agreement with her appears to have been made without any sincere intention of helping her. The more pessimistic side of me questions whether Nike even intended to raise her profile. Perhaps their entire strategy was to sign her in order to stop the narrative from gaining traction. If they can say, we support women's sports, we have Caitlin Clark, without actually working to promote her and develop her brand, that's enough for them. It almost seems like they're trying to silence her, as if they're scared of a woman with that much raw star power making waves. It is reminiscent of businesses hiring people with diversity merely to check a box and then doing nothing worthwhile. It is ineffective, lazy, and to be honest, embarrassing. Nike will also come to regret this strategy because, believe me, they are passing up a fantastic chance to fully utilize her talent.
He still has it up. He's after retweeting. And by the way, this is because Nike, every other brand was talking about Caitlin going back to Iowa, but Nike ignored it. Nike have ignored nearly everything Caitlin Clark has done over the last couple of years. And Connor McCaffrey retweets at Nike, y'all don't got internet or what? They're stuff.
At this pace, Nike risks ceding the spotlight to AJ Wilson, who is undeniably a phenomenal player. However, it's hard to imagine Nike simply sidelining Caitlin Clark, a true cultural phenomenon, ignoring her potential as a face of the brand, and a catalyst for a basketball renaissance feels like a colossal missed opportunity. Like Everest did, this oversight could prove costly for Nike, especially as they cozy up to other athletes and claim to champion empowerment. The truth is, Caitlin Clark embodies everything a modern brand should want. She's a record breaker, a highlight machine, and a major force in making basketball resonate with mainstream audiences. Again, she's transforming the sports image and drawing new fans in droves, yet Nike appears to be letting her slip through their fingers, seemingly content to overlook her influence if they don't act. Now someone else will step in and capitalize on her rising star once that happens. Nike might look back with regret, realizing they missed the boat on promoting one of the most exciting and influential athletes of her generation. The window to align with Caitlin Clark's momentum is closing fast, and missing out could have long-term repercussions for the brand.
Nike is a big company, a real big company. Big company. Why is it that you can't endorse Caitlin Clark and AJ Wilson at the same damn time? See, I know why y'all don't want to, because it will be ridiculous and embarrassing, bro.
When Nike eventually makes the decision to support their athletes and promote women's sports, Caitlin Clark won't be waiting for their endorsement because she has already established the bar and is demonstrating how to do it. Fans will eventually realize that she is the real superstar and that the sports world is talking about her rather than their most recent ad. Nike risks losing out on the chance to partner with one of the most significant athletes of the upcoming decade if they continue to ignore Caitlin Clark, who is not only a gifted athlete but also a game-changer who is redefining what it means to be a modern sports icon. The truth is that she is already making waves and grabbing the attention of a global audience, so ignoring her now could lead to regret later on when the world's attention shifts elsewhere. Nike can continue to act as though Caitlin Clark doesn't exist, but the truth is that she is the true star of this tale, and as her impact increases, they will realize too late that ignoring her was a lost opportunity to be a part of something greater. The world is watching Caitlin Clark play for real.
Clark with a huge following of loyal fans that buy everything with her name on it 100%. Insane numbers on her cards. Wilson basketball is always selling out. Absolutely crazy. All-star jersey, sold out in like minutes. That's the other thing. This stuff happens so fast. Nike, they have an idea for you. Caitlin Clark. Yeah, so let's check this out. This is absolutely, this is not good for Nike. As you can see here, Nike expected to post steepest revenue decline in nearly 5 years in its quarterly results on Thursday. I don't know what the Nike mobile app thing means, but that does seem like a lot, down 35% from a year earlier. Foot traffic at Nike stores down 11%. Foot Locker is having a problem. They are a major Nike retailer, still got more than 60% of Foot Locker merchandise, and they said all that stuff has hurt their profit margins because the Nike stuff.
While Nike continues to refine their brand image through Instagram posts about empowerment and equity, Caitlin Clark is out there making waves in a different way. She is truly winning over fans, not just casual followers, but ardent supporters who can move markets and influence trends. The kind of fans who will purchase sneakers simply because their hero is wearing them. Meanwhile, Nike's marketing team appears to be stuck in Oregon wondering if another generic AA Wilson campaign would work. No offense to AA, but the timing of Nike suddenly saturating her with attention by launching high-profile campaigns, media features, and promotional blitzes while Caitlin's name is barely mentioned feels too convenient. The difference is stark, and it's obvious whose star is rising the fastest in the eyes of the fans. It's almost as if Nike is overcompensating for their silence by acting as though this was all part of the plan from the beginning. Oh yeah, we've been focusing on AA all along, Caitlin, and we're just saving her for later.
The thing that is the most surprising about this is if you guys remember when Caitlin Clark was playing at Iowa, Nike ran ads about her. When she broke the record for the most points in NCAA scoring history for both the men and the women, Nike put up this huge billboard that's basically like, if you break it, you own it. And this was in Iowa. They had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been Crickets.
The most unexpected aspect of this is that, as you may recall, Nike launched advertisements featuring Caitlin Clark when she broke the record for both men's and women's points in NCAA scoring history while she was playing for Iowa. In Iowa, Nike erected a massive billboard that said, "If you break it, you own it." Other advertisements and materials followed, but ever then, it has been crickets.